Hi guys, this might be a really tight shot, but the other day when I was doing a video, I had talked about making a certain kind of noodles, kind of like macarrones con crema is what it would be called in Spanish. It's basically macaroni, but it's not macaroni. It just means like pasta with cream. But these are a little different and they're really good. So it's kind of like a take on macaroni and cheese is how I see it, but with spaghetti and other things. But anyway, so I just have a pot with water. I mean, however you boil your pasta noodles, you can do this with any kind of noodle, to be honest. I'm going to use thin spaghetti, but if you want to use, you know, just ziti or any macaroni, it doesn't matter. Or pasta, should I say. So I don't boil a huge pot of water because it's a waste and you don't need to unless you're making a ton of pasta, right? So for me, this is like, let me see, 1.5 quarts of water, so like 6 cups of water, maybe. And I threw in just a piece of onion that I had. You can put in as much as you like, it's just for flavoring. And normally that's not what you do, right, with pasta. And a couple of bay leaves. These are just cheap bay leaves. I have a bigger one that's even cheaper. But this one is just inexpensive bay leaves. They're not even super green anymore. And you know, throw in 1 or 2. So that little bay leaf is just going to give some little, I don't want to say umami, but like just a different flavor to your noodles. So I'm going to throw in 2 of them, and then you're going to find those 2. So however many you throw in, you better get them out when you're done, right? Because you're not going to eat them, but you'll see them. They'll turn a little more green while they're cooking. So I'm going to let this water boil, and then of course, just like with pasta, once it comes to a boil, we're going to throw in some salt, and then I'm going to add in thin spaghetti, and I'm just going to eyeball it. But I have this Barilla thin spaghetti. So I'll come back when this is boiling and we'll move on. So the other things you're going to need are some sour cream, a little chicken bouillon, and some butter. And basically that's it. If you want to fry up a little ham in your the next part after we boil the noodles, that's up to you. Some people like to put a little ham in there. That's really yummy. And then the new thing I've been doing is topping it with white cheese, which is mozzarella or Monterey Jack. It doesn't matter. Just any white cheese, the Chihuahua or whatever that Mexican cheese is that melts. Use that. Just because it makes it creamier and it's awesome. So I barely started doing that. It's just a little more fat to your thing there. But I'm going to let this sit and boil and I'll come back. Okay, so this is boiling. Again, didn't take too long to get to a boil because, again, you don't need all that liquid. But, okay. Just get some salt, you know, quite a bit. They always say you want to salt it like ocean water, right? So that's the only time you're really going to get flavor into your noodles. Everything else just kind of sits on the noodle. But okay, so I'm just going to open up this thin spaghetti. Again, you can use regular spaghetti, any kind of whatever you like. And this I always eyeball, so I have one of those little things that you can, actually I have a Tupperware storage like container, and on one side it has for 1 serving, one side has for 2, so you pour it out that way. But, you know, like a quarter size. And I always break mine because I have kids that are little, so I just kind of break it in half and put it in there. And even if it was longer, I could still put it in here because it would just start sinking down, right? So as much as you think you need, I would say when I make it, it's probably a serving for like 4 people. I'll put a little bit more. So I'm kind of giving you the numbers for that. But so far there haven't been numbers. That's why I love cooking, because you can do whatever you want. Baking, obviously, you need those exact numbers. We're going to let this boil for like, you know, 11, 12 minutes. And then I'll come back to make the sauce we're going to put this in. Okay, so in this huge pan, I love this pan, let me tell you. This is the only one I have of this brand, David Burke. Yeah, I should probably shine this up a little nicer. David Burke, it says Gourmet Pro, I don't know. I got it at like a TJ Maxx for maybe 30 or 40 bucks, and I make shakshuka in this. It can go in the oven. I use it for chicken cacciatore. I use it for things like this. I use it to brown everything. I use it for, you know, bacon because it's pretty good size. But it's kind of a shallow pan. I use it for Korean army stew, for budae-jjigae, for all kinds of things. So it works really well. So right now I have it kind of set on pretty high because we're just gonna cook this down. I already drained, oops, sorry. So, you know, it's a little bit hot. Let me get a towel. I drained this, and just because my pot has like little draining holes, that's how I did. So there's still some water in there. There's still some liquid in there, but that's okay because I'm just gonna grab it. And the little liquid's not gonna hurt anybody. It actually helps out with your sauce anyway. So a little bit of liquid on that. Picked out the onion. The onion's really easy to get because it floats to the top anyway. So all I'm gonna do here, this is super easy, and hopefully, don't lose you here. It's super easy. I'm going to use Mexican sour cream. I like this one, or anything but crema mexicana con sal. So it's a little bit saltier. If you don't have this, don't worry about it. Use your daisy, use whatever it is that you have. Probably about 1/3 of a cup per, per like 4-person servings. If you're doubling it up, obviously you want to use more than that. But like 1/3 of a cup, what I would do is put it in a bowl, add a little milk just to water it down. You'll see the consistency of this sour cream. And just make it watery. And add a little bit more salt because it's not as salty as this stuff. And then you can just salt your, you know what I'm saying, just taste it. If it tastes bland, obviously add salt. So that's not the biggest deal. And as far as the butter goes, I should have just cut it. What am I doing? Normally I cut right through the paper. But I'm going to add maybe 3 tablespoons. Maybe. What happens is I put it in here and then I feel guilty and then I bring it back out. But that's like 2 tablespoons, 2.5. That's probably right. Because usually I get it in here. Once I start seeing melt and I see so much butter, I'm like, no, that's too much butter. But I think 2.5 tablespoons for 4 or 5 servings. That's not horrible, right? This is not a low-calorie dish anyway, so if that's what you're looking for, this is not the place for it. So as it's melting down, I'm going to throw in just a little bit of chicken bouillon, however you like. This is Knorr, because that's what we use. And I eyeball this, so basically, oh, let me turn this down because I don't really want the butter to brown. Like a teaspoon? Maybe. And not even that much, really. I use a tablespoon to get it, but I use very little. And what I normally do, where's my, I guess I'm gonna use a spoon. Since I'm chatting about it, this is, you know, it's starting to sizzle up a little bit. And I'm just kind of getting that put in there really well, just to kind of blend it in. And I have one of these already open, so I want to finish it off. Ah! Turn that down. And again, like a 1/4 cup, a 1/3 cup, I don't know, 1/2 cup, whatever you want. And hopefully you saw it. I should be mixing this one up. You saw how the other one was so thin? This one's a little bit too thick. Let me give it a good shake. Okay, it should be thinner. I don't know why this is so thick, to be honest. What happened here? I don't know. Maybe they mixed up their labels at the Mexican store there, or where they manufactured it. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to brown. Turn it down if it gets too crazy. And then get your noodles in. So, again, like I said, if there's some water in the noodle, that's just fine. And if it doesn't look creamy enough, it doesn't look like there's enough to go around, add some more cream. It's not the biggest deal. So I'm just gonna, yeah, that was weird. I don't know why that's so thick. You saw that first one, it's super watery, and that's normally how it is, so I don't know what happened to this here sour cream. Let me give it another shake, because I need to add a little bit more. And then maybe I'll put a little pepper, and then I'm going to top it with cheese and cover it up. And just let that cheese kind of get in there. Okay, here we go. Look at that. I just didn't shake it enough. So what do you think that was? Maybe 1/2 cup? I might have gone a little overboard in the sour cream. But you kind of want it to turn a little bit white, right? So that's what I'm looking for. And then you can taste it. Sometimes I add pepper, sometimes I don't. So if you like pepper, get a little pepper in there. And basically that's it. So if you taste it, it's just gonna taste creamy. It shouldn't be like super salty or anything like that. And now I'm just gonna turn off the heat. I'm going to top it with some cheese. Let me grab that. And I ripped this bag of cheese recently, so now it's always falling out everywhere. And again, just to your liking, however much you like. I basically try to put like a coating just on top. If you want to freshly grate some cheese. This is mozzarella. And then I'm going to cover it for like 5 minutes until it gets gooey, and I'll come back at that point. And that's it. Again, if you wanted to do some ham, I would have browned the ham with just a little bit of oil. Obviously, you're gonna brown your ham, and then proceed with the butter and everything. So I'm gonna cover that, let it sit for a few minutes, and I'll be right back. Let me turn this fan off. Oh, by the way, my burner is a KitchenAid burner. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I think I showed it to you guys before when I did the kitchen remodel, or remodel because we had to, not because we wanted to. But check that out. So it's just kind of bubbling. I turned it back up a little bit because I don't know if I cooked it long enough, but just enough to heat this up. But I turned it off when I put the cheese. Basically that heat should be enough to melt your cheese, but look at this. And they come out all, gooey and delicious. I'm telling you, my kids, they love this. This is like one of their favorite. Everybody, my husband, myself, everyone loves them. So I have a pork loin that I just cooked up. I'm gonna cut that up, plate it with some of this. I would normally have some veggies too, but not today. I just didn't have time to throw them on some water and just steam them. But that's it, guys. So hopefully that gave you a little idea. And you'll try it out. Again, any kind of macaroni you like or pasta, pretty much any pasta. And you just do the same thing. So I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.